So I've come to this pond today with a mission to catch more than one carp. The pond here is a wild pond, so there's not that many carp in here. I know there's more than one, but I can only seem to catch common carp out of here. And I just know that there is a mirror carp in here. Last summer, he was on the surface feeding bread. So yeah, my mission's at least to catch 2 carp and hopefully the mirror carp combined. Every time I've come fishing here, I've only ever used the method feeder with these wafters, but I'm trying to find out what baits the carp like in this pond. So today, while I am using one method feeder rod, I've bought these sticky krill wafters, and this morning I've rigged up a hair rig here, and as you can see, I've got 2 of them boilies on it. Now, I've never actually used a hair rig to fish before, so I'm kind of intrigued to see how well this goes. But I'm going to get this casted out now. I've already got the method feeder casted out because I'm trying to maximise my chances of catching. I think I'm just going to give this one a little underarm cast, just over right ahead of me there. That's perfect. Now, it's a bit of a windy day. As you can see, the sky is completely blue behind me, and it's forecasted to be a stunning day. But the pond itself has got ripples all over the top of it. It's very windy. But it being a windy day is not a bad thing, because I know at this pond the carp love it on a windy day. In fact, I can only ever seem to catch carp on windy days at this pond. So maybe, just maybe, it's a good thing it's windy. Now, the good thing about this bait is you can not only use it as hookable baits, you can also use it as like ground bait sort of stuff. So I'm going to chuck a few handfuls of this around the pond in 3 different locations where I'll be casting today. Now, I'm not going to lie, they smell absolutely gorgeous, so I'm sure a carp would like them. But got a little handful there. I don't want to chuck too many out. I'm going to chuck that handful just around the middle there. That's all right, that's pretty much where I'm casted. And then this one can go a bit further. Then for this next little throw, I've walked to the other side of the pool because I'm going to be fishing the margins later on. So I'll chuck a few there, and a few there. Now that all the prep's done, we just sit back and wait for bites. I've been here for quite a while now. I just haven't really picked the camera up. I've been here about an hour set up, and I've kind of got the gist that here it's the most cold peg you'll ever find. The wind's just blowing directly towards me and it's freezing. So I think I'm going to reel the rods in and move my peg to over there on the other side of the pool. So I've just hauled the gear around the other side of the pool. It's way different over this side. It looks really nice, the pond does, from here. But I've got all the gear and I'm going to set up the rods and cast them out. And that's now all done. The 2 rods are in, they're just by my side. And that's the setup. This rod here's got the method feeder on with a wafter, and that is casted out just in the middle in a deeper section. Then my second rod with the boilies on, I went right in the margin there. And because it's a sunny day, it's a bit windy, but it's still really sunny. The carp are most likely going to be on the surface. If not on the surface, they'll be in the higher parts of the water. So just there in the margin, where it's not too deep, not too shallow. I baited up there earlier. That should bag up. So now I'm just going to wait for the rod tips to start going absolutely mental, and then I'll have a fish on. This rod here, I'm watching the tip, and nothing much is happening. But on the other hand, when I'm watching the method feeder rod here, the tip's going wild. Now, I know I haven't got bites on it already, because if I had bites, you know, I would have a fish on. But it's showing signs that a carp's messing around with the bait. The line on the edge of the water, and now I know it's windy and that'll play a big impact on it, but the line on the top of the water's pulling backwards and going forwards. Now, it usually does that when a carp's either hooked or just playing around with the bait. So I'm pretty sure within the next 10 minutes I'm going to have a carp on. Whilst I'm waiting on the bites, I'm going to have a little wander around the pond to look for any signs of carp. I'll just do this to map out where they are so I can know where to cast next. And then through these brambles here, there's a little peg. It's a bit shallow for me to fish with my method feeder, but pole fishing in here I've done before, and I've had a few little roach. I can only imagine there's a load of carp under there though. Obviously this is where I was pegged up just. The only fish you'll catch from this margin here is little gudgeon and roach and rudd. So I'm not even going to bother looking for signs there. This tree here, on the other hand, I know for a fact there's carp underneath there. I know they're under here because a few summers ago, when I first discovered there was carp in here, I chucked the bread under this tree and I bet 3 of them will come up. But as for today, I'm not seeing any signs. The only signs I've seen of them today is a few ripples in the middle of the pond and a few fish jumping around here. Obviously the fish jumping weren't carp, they were too small to be carp. There would have been the big perch and roach in here. So honestly, I think the middle of the pool today in the deeper part is my best bet. Maybe I'll get one from in the margins here. I'm going to keep the boilies there for today, just to see what will come from there. Because someone I bumped into the other week who was fishing this pond, mysterious, right? I literally never see people fishing this pond, it's quite rare, but when I do, I always ask them what they catch out of it. And he said out of the margin here he had a 10-pound carp. It's the only fish I've caught out of here, as you've seen in my previous carp videos at this pond. They're about 4 or 5 pounds. They're big, but they're not massive. So if I could catch this pond monster, that would be great. The wind has definitely gone now. It's like so warm now. Now that is a very good thing, because I believe carp love warm weather. Hence why I've been catching quite a few of them recently. Sadly, it's not the hottest day yet, so the carp, they might be on the surface in other pools, but for this pond here, they're not going to be on the surface, I don't think. I'm going to pick this rod up and bring it in. Just let me, take that thing off real quick and reel it in. And the boilies now, I'm going to cast over there in the deep part of the middle. So here goes nothing then. Nice little underarm cast. That was atrocious, let me retake. I think I might just go for more of a side flick because the underarm doesn't seem to get very far with this one. There we are, that's exactly where I want it. Here we go then. Pick this rod up here. And it's currently snagged on that tree. There we go, I can actually reel it in. Here we are, it's no longer tangled. And it's already reeled in, to be fair, nothing was on. Here we go then, let's get this thing somewhere over there. I'm going to go with the overarm cast actually. I think that'll do. Boom. I've been here for 2 hours on the dot now, and usually within 2 hours at an actual carp pool, I would have had at least 1 or 2 carp by now. But I think with this pond being a natural water, it's a lot harder. It's probably to do with the fact that the carp barely ever get caught, so they're not used to seeing all the baits about. But then again, you'd think that would be a good thing, because if they don't see the baits that often, then they're going to be more prone to attacking them and biting them. Right, something bad. I've only got an hour left. Obviously meaning I've got an hour to catch a fish. It's doable, don't get me wrong. It's going to be tough though. I was watching the water just off camera and something big jumped right there in that hedge. It's a sign of activeness, and I'm glad I've saw that, because it's restored my faith in this fishing. If anything, I might recast that rod over there somewhere. Stick a bunch of fresh grown bait in it. Maybe put a new wafter on, because the one I'm using, it's been on for a long time now. And it may have like lost its scent, I don't know. But I think I'm gonna reel it in. I'm gonna just stick some fresh bait in this thing. Would you look at that, some other fishermen have just rocked up. I think I'm just gonna have to reel one of my rods in and cast it somewhere else, just so I'm out of their way. Here we are then, I'm just gonna reel in the boilie rod. I'll probably cast it back out somewhere else. That's all done, back to the waiting game. Now I do only have a half hour left, so wish me luck. Hopefully I can get some last minute bites. Now I would say I'd have a recast, but I think I'm just going to stick at it in where I am for the last 20 minutes or so. Purely because if there's a carp around by where my wafter is right now, he's going to want to bite it there. If I move it, he's going to scare away. So I guess the longer you leave it in one spot, the more carp will attract. I changed my mind, I had one final recast just out ahead of me. Not directly in the middle actually, a bit further than the middle. In the deep part. Wish me luck in these last 10 minutes. Sadly, it's time for me to pack up now. I'll just get this one in, reel that. Nothing was on it, I don't think. And next is the method feeder rod. This one usually always does me really well. So sadly today I didn't actually end up catching nothing, which is an absolute bummer considering the last 3 times I've been here I've caught 3 carp. And on a day like today, beautiful blue skies, I thought I would have caught one. But sadly the carp have other plans today. Even though I didn't end up catching, it was still a really nice session out, lovely day out today. But with that all said, I'm going to have to wrap the video up here. Thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed, please smash the like button, subscribe whilst you're down there and turn on the post notifications so you never miss another one of my videos. Become a member of my channel for just $1.99 a month. It'll help support my growth and you'll get tons of perks such as exclusive videos, early access to videos and loads of other stuff. But for now everyone, I've got to go, so peace for now.